We all love the sound of money, and a $1,500 sign-on bonus sounds even better. That's right, Belicio Foods of Jackson is offering a $1,500 sign-on bonus to new employees. Receive an extra $100 your first 6 weeks, then $400 after day 90, and $500 after day 180. Don't wait. Apply online at beliciofoods.com/careers today. That's beliciofoods.com/careers. Come work for a company who truly values their employees. Come work for Belicio Foods.
Show some love for the graduating seniors in your life with custom-made gear from Zip Printing in Jackson. Yard signs, banners, screen-printed t-shirts, and more. Zip Printing can do it all. Visit yourtotalmedia.shop to browse all of Zip's gear to show your school spirit for the class of 22. Zip also has everything you need for graduation parties like custom photo cards, invitations, and napkins. Call 740-286-3023 or find them on Facebook at Zip Printing Signs and Marketing.
Good morning, everyone, and happy start to your Memorial Day weekend. And we are here, of course, this morning on Main Street TV. Jennifer here with our good friend Jeremiah Shaver. And Jeremiah, for the third Friday in a row, what is going on in this town on Fridays?
I don't know, Jen. I don't know. It is a holiday weekend, though, so
this
makes a little more sense than the past 2 weeks.
It does, but Jeremiah, for the third Friday in a row, and has had to be out on the scene of some kind of breaking news story going on here in our area. This one, an accident, correct?
Yep.
All
We
right.
had a just before 7:30 p.m. this morning. We had a two-vehicle collision. What is it?
You said PM.
Oh, PM, AM.
AM.
Sorry.
It's all right.
Just before 7:30 a.m. this morning, we had
got
a two-vehicle collision out on State Route 32 at Mount Zion Road. Here's a video out at the scene. I didn't want to show the vehicles at this time because I didn't know the extent of the injuries. But I can tell you that there was
don't want to scare people either.
Right. If they see it, they panic and everything. So I was told there was 4 individuals that were transported to Holzer Hospital. There was two people per vehicle, and there was also a dog. I was told the dog was okay.
All right. Well, that's good news.
Not sure the extent of the injuries for the individuals, but they were transported.
Okay.
Initial information that the patrol was able to tell me, it sounds like we had another one of the failed to yield scenarios.
Those intersections are notorious for that, aren't they?
Yeah, especially out that way, 139 and Mount Zion
Mayhew,
and Mayhew.
all those.
All the way up through there.
Yeah.
Sadly.
It is.
Have that situation. But it sounds like there was a Jeep, setting on Mount Zion, pulled out to cross 32, vehicle coming on 32 westbound. Okay. And they collided. So.
All right. Well, we hope that everything is and everybody is okay because, you get those texts from the sheriff's office and you see a road's closed, or you see, oh no, a road's closed, and you automatically think the worst. So let's
hope everybody's okay.
That everybody, is on the mend.
They had the roadway closed for a little bit out there, and then it reopened to one lane. And I was out there, did a real quick video report, called into the radio to let people know what was going on.
Okay.
And as of 8:45 a.m., both lanes of State Route 32 at Mount Zion have reopened. So they must have everything cleaned up.
So do you just go to bed early every Thursday night waiting to find out what it is that's going to happen Friday?
I actually did go to bed early last night. The little one was in bed earlier than normal, so I actually got to go to sleep early.
Sleep.
Yeah, a little bit. So
but we appreciate the fact that you get out and about and go find out the skinny, and we don't have to base our stuff on rumors and things that people are talking about on Facebook. We actually have from the horse's mouth, if you will, and we'll just pray that cars don't look so good, but we're hoping that the people fared better.
Yeah, the front end of the one car had a lot of damage.
Yeah.
The Jeep had some damage to the back rear side of the vehicle there. But there was a lot of debris on the roadway, so they had ODOT out there. You can see the truck that's going back and forth. It's got like a sweeper on the front.
Oh, okay. I wonder what they were doing.
Yeah, they're sweeping the debris off of the roadway there.
Oh.
When I was out there was like a semi that came through, and there was a little bit of debris still out there. And when it hit it, it just kind of like broke into pieces and went down the road.
Oh,
so
no.
They brought a
Okay.
sweeper out to kind of sweep both lanes there.
That makes sense.
That's the eastbound lane, but there was debris everywhere there.
Okay.
So, but that's all we know at this time. The High State Highway Patrol, the Jackson Post, said they will have me some more information later today.
Okay.
And at that time, we'll release more photos of the scene, and release what happened. So
very good. And we do not really like to start off on Memorial Day weekend on such a note, but hopefully we'll keep our fingers crossed. Everybody comes out okay.
Everybody drive safe this holiday weekend, and
look twice, drive once. How's that?
Yeah. So I'm going to trade seats here with Telegram editor Pete Wilson. We'll have him come over. He's got a stack of news, it looks like.
Yes, he does. He's been 2 weeks out. I mean, he's got to be bursting with news.
I'm sure he's full of information.
I'd say he is. Thank you, Jeremiah. I appreciate you and appreciate the fact that you go out and do what you do, because it is he's always there on the scene and always tries to get all the information that he can to pass so we can pass it on to you. Good, bad, or indifferent, right?
Right. Yes. Jeremiah's been a great addition to the staff. We appreciate what he does, what he's good at, and his experience, because he's been at it for a while. A young guy, but still been
a few years.
Been at it for a while. And, whenever we do post immediate things, or we talk about them on TV or on the radio, on social media, a lot of times we don't know a whole lot right then, but we always want to tell you, we just don't leave it there. We follow up. We get the information, and that is where our Telegram newspaper comes in.
That's
and
right.
Our website, thetelegramnews.com. Hopefully, we'll have the information on the accident, the drivers involved, the injuries, the patrol's synopsis of what happened there.
And this is
we'll
why
always do that.
Yeah, you're right. But this is why it's so important for you to subscribe to the Telegram. And what I mean by that is, even if you don't get this version, the print version, if you subscribe to the Telegram, you can still have access to that digital version, which gives you access to the news that's the most recent and that you guys are putting out there, and that way you can keep up on the latest and the greatest, or not greatest, I guess, if you will. But either way, you have direct access to it instead of waiting.
Right. I think that it was the New York Times, one of the most famous slogans in journalism, all the news that's fit to print. Well, we'll get all the news that's fit to print that fits.
There you go. Exactly.
And that we can get to. We do promise the effort on that. And a lot of folks don't understand. They know that we're digital, and they know that the print edition is historic, but you don't have to choose. If you get a print subscription, the digital comes with that at no extra charge, and you can get just digital for a slightly lesser rate if that's what you want.
You're exactly right, and that gives you access to things that as soon as something happens, you guys write a story, it's out there.
Right, and there's lots of folks who grow up in Jackson County, have their local connections. Their family is still here, but they go off different places, many different directions.
Correct.
And, many of them have subscribed to the print edition over the years. And, the way the mail moves, you're not going to get that the next day in many places. We'll see that problem is eliminated if you're a digital customer, obviously.
You are right.
So all you folks that are back for the reunions this weekend, think about that. You don't have to. That's one way to get the news and keep up on it closely. And remember, we are a local content paper, and what that means is, if you're looking for Afghanistan, if you're looking for the fights over abortion or whatever, you can go somewhere else, and there's plenty of places to get it. But if you want local news on Jackson and Vinton counties, hopefully we are the place to be.
Absolutely. 100%.
All right. Well, let's get to it, Jennifer, because there is a lot.
Lots.
There's a lot that's happened. There's a lot that's going to happen. On the news staff, we fondly, sometimes unfondly, say that this is the busiest, hardest weekend of the year when you talk about constant activity.
Yes.
Now, all of it is good as far as the things we know are going to happen, because, we've got high school graduations, we've got Memorial Day, we've got the Festival of Flags, we've got alumni events. other special events that get scheduled, because this is kind of like a return to the hometown type week.
It's
the unofficial kickoff to the summer, all that. So then there's the fact that more things happen, some of them not so good, because people are getting together and doing things. There's more activity.
Sure.
So, but anyway, we're about to take that ride at the Telegram.
Here we are.
One of the things, on this Memorial Day weekend that kicked off a little early, both myself and James were there for that. It was called the Veterans Awareness Ride. We really didn't have a lot of advance word on that, but it was a nationwide thing that came through Jackson and Vinton counties. It was a caravan of motorcyclists that started, I'm not sure the start date, but it was all the way in Auburn, California, I presume on the ocean. And anyway, yesterday, they came on U.S. Route 35, bypassed Jackson, turned on to 32, went on 32 through Jackson and Vinton counties, and on across the Ohio River into Parkersburg. I've been told that the end time is Memorial Day and the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. And the purpose of these motorcyclists,
look at that.
There they are right there. The purpose of this event is just to show, in general, support for the veterans, particularly those who have lost their lives on, that's what, of course, what our Memorial Day is all about.
It is.
And
it's not about hot dogs, by the way.
Yeah, you can eat a hot dog.
You can't eat a hot dog.
But don't forget about what the meaning of Memorial Day is.
Correct.
But there were many veterans that took place in this. There was law enforcement. There were some people went the whole way, I understand, but some people did legs of it, like the state.
Yeah.
One of the participants was Sheriff Ted Frazier.
Really?
He has his own motorcycle.
Very cool.
And there were some organizers who knew about this event, invited him to participate, and he did. He started all the way on the Indiana line in Richmond, Indiana, and he was there late yesterday afternoon when it reached Belpre and the bridge there into West Virginia and Parkersburg.
That's so cool.
And I talked to him after he got back, and he felt honored to do it and felt compelled to do it because he does support veterans. And he was so glad that, because they do make some stops on the way. One of the stops they made before they went to Jackson County was the Chillicothe VA Medical Center. Of course, that's right in line with the theme of the ride.
Of course.
And he was glad for that. And he made a statement to me, he wanted me to put it in the paper, and it will be. He feels that it's not a good thing that the federal government has recommended, or at least a committee has recommended, the closure of the VA Medical Center over there. He feels like a lot of local veterans benefit by it, and he would like to not see it closed, and he was willing to go out there and make that statement. That was another reason he wanted to take the ride.
Good.
So, we'll have that story, and there is already a video posted. We appreciate Mr. Hamilton going out with us. We had to lean over the overpass, a long drop down there. But
Thanks, James, for risking your life.
We both came back. We both came back alive there.
You guys are amazing.
So, if you didn't happen to see that yesterday, like I say, we do have a video posted. All right, lots of good things happening. A lot of good things have also happened. We're going to talk about, but we're going to get to some of the bad news first, kind of get it out of the way.
Get it out of the way.
Because it is part and parcel of what's going to be in our Saturday paper and beyond. The Jackson police released information about an incident that occurred last Saturday. That was May 21st at a Jackson residence. There were a total of 5 men involved, and 2 of the men attacked 3 of the other men outside this residence for some unknown reason or undisclosed reason. And one of the suspects, Clayton T. Irvin, who has been charged with 2 counts of felonious assault, he used a metal pipe to hit 2 of the 3 victims. It was 2 young brothers and one of their friends, and they've been visiting in a house. Something happened. They were told to leave, and when they got outside, they were confronted, and it was not a fight, I was told. I was told that they were just attacked for no reason. It wasn't just an altercation where, they got into it or whatever. Another gentleman who did not have a metal pipe was arrested for assault because he used his hand in some way, his fist or his hand, to strike 2 of the victims, including the 3rd victim. The victim who was most badly hurt was flown to St. Mary's Regional Hospital in Huntington, West Virginia. 2 others were treated and released at Holzer Medical Center here in Jackson. The good news to report out of all this is that the man, 22 years old, who was hurt the worst, has already been released from St. Mary's Regional Medical Center. Now,
a metal pipe could do a lot of damage.
The metal pipe can do a heck of a lot of damage. First, it was said it was a ball bat, but they found it was a metal pipe. They recovered the alleged assault weapon a couple days later. They arrested Clayton T. Irvin on Monday in Chillicothe. They arrested the other defendant, Robert E. Cheney, age 19 of Springfield. They arrested him in Jackson on Monday. They did their interviews. They have charged both of those men with felonious assault on Irvin's part, misdemeanor assault on Cheney's part. The 3 victims are going to be okay.
Okay, good.
Police are still investigating. You ask, everybody wants to know why, what happened.
Yeah.
Well, they're not sure about that yet.
Okay.
But the victims say that they did not know the 2 men who attacked them, and they weren't really able to identify them. They were able to give a description of them. They were able to give a description of the assailants and also of the vehicle that they left in. But other than that, they did not know them.
That is so weird.
Right, exactly. Well, there's more to the story that we don't know yet, and the police are working on that.
Okay, well, they'll get to the bottom of it. They're good at that.
Yeah, they are. Okay, the Jackson County Sheriff's Office reported some information just yesterday. This was an incident that took place on Wednesday evening, just this past Wednesday evening, at a home on 521 East Broadway Street in Jackson. That would be, way down there, almost all the way out of town. And it was the Jackson County Major Crimes Task Force. That is not only the sheriff's office, but some other law enforcement officers from other agencies that are involved in that. I know that this happened in the city of Jackson. Jackson police officers took part in this intervention as well.
Okay.
But they had a search warrant. They executed the search warrant at 521 East Broadway Street. As a result, they took 45-year-old Will L. Howard into custody, and we have a photo of him as well. There he is. He is now in Jackson County Correctional Facility, and he is there because in their search, they found 3 grams of methamphetamine, which is considered to be a pretty big amount.
Okay.
$900 in cash, supposedly drug connected, digital scales, baggies, pipes, all those things associated with drug use, abuse, and trafficking. There you see some of the other things that they confiscated there. But Howard, once again, is in Jackson County Correctional Facility. They were able to put him in the pokey without charging him because it was a probation violation. In other words, he had been in trouble for something else, and you have to mind your P's and Q's. And this is not minding your P's and Q's, when you're found with all these illegal items. He will probably face additional drug trafficking charges. Now, as far as I know, they didn't see him sell anything, but it doesn't matter if you're caught with this stuff.
You
and
can't
obviously,
the
volume,
around that stuff,
and the way it's packaged it is presumed drug trafficking. So anyway, we will see what happens as that case unfolds as well. Of course, I know that we've talked a lot already, and we've had some great coverage across our media platforms about the big news at the University of Rio Grande, the collaboration between the Ohio State University and the University of Rio Grande to start a new meat science program using land donated from Bob Evans Farm to the university that can now be used for university purposes, about 270 acres, I believe. And Jeremiah Shaver, who was down there along with James Hamilton, and I know our radio folks were down there too. J.J. Hill was down there. We had it covered like a blanket down there.
Yep.
But we did have an advanced story in the Telegram on Wednesday. And of course, we have sound bites on the radio. We've had the video, great videos that James always does. But we're going to have a more expansive, in-depth story in our Saturday paper. Jeremiah had time to sit down and do more work. We have quotes from some of the main participants and speakers. Also from Bob Evans' son, Steve Evans, and Bob's daughter as well were interviewed.
Yes.
And we've got quotes from them as well. Now, we're putting this picture up because that is Graham Cochran, and we're putting his picture up not only because he was a participant and an important person. I'll tell you what his title is. Graham's title is the Professor and Associate Dean for Operations for the Ohio State University in the College of Food, Agriculture, and Environmental Sciences. That's pretty important.
Yes.
Well, let me tell you who else Graham is. Graham is a kid I knew who grew up here in Jackson, outside Jackson, on a farm, the Cochran Farm, We know Steve Cochran,
Yep.
Recently retired teacher at Jackson High School, ran the science fair for years, and of course Margaret Cochran,
that's right,
the retired Jackson City lineman, the proud parents of Graham Cochran,
as they should
and
be.
I want to let Graham know and his parents know I have a long overdue story about Graham getting promoted at Ohio State that I'm going to build on because he came down here and was associated with announcing this big project.
That's fun.
But anyway,
love that.
Follow up. This is so good for the University of Rio Grande. You know, they went through some tough times there in the transition several years ago. Of course, COVID was hard on everybody, and President Ryan Smith down there trying to build everything back again. This will be a new program that, with the resources of Ohio State, should be great for our area, for the kids that go down there. But all the details, please read about it in the paper on Saturday. But essentially, you could get an associate's degree down at Rio Grande, you know, with the help of Ohio State professors, and that would dovetail, be a pathway into the last 2 years at Ohio State with all the programs and classes that they have up there.
Very cool.
So exactly. All right. On a sad note, we haven't been able to talk about this on television. Maybe you did when I wasn't here, but of course the death of longtime Jackson police officer Butch Aldrich. This was just shocking news that we came out on Monday. There is Butch in a very familiar pose behind.
That's just Butch right there. That's what you think
behind the desk. I'm not really sure whether that's at the police station or it was up at the school, Jackson High School, when he served as school resource officer. But I go back a long way. Butch went back a long way, and you know, we had a professional relationship, a friendship that went a long time. I know you have been around a long time, not as long as I have.
A few years, Pete.
I'll throw that disclaimer out there.
Thanks.
But anyone on social media has seen all the outpouring of tributes for Butch Aldrich. We had a front page story in our Wednesday paper. He was just a dear person. A lot of times people don't like police officers, but that was not the case with Butch Aldrich. What a nice guy he was. And he found a way to be a people person and still be a police officer.
You're right.
Usually had a smile on his face. I'm guessing that even though he could be tough when he had to be, he had a way of working with everybody, including the criminals, to do his job. And I will give him credit for this. I had a very scary incident. I think it's been so long ago, I can't tell you the year, but it was in the early 90s. I had somebody shoot through my house in the middle of the night.
There was
even a shell casing on my bedroom carpet and two holes in the siding of my house.
Pete?
Yes, I know. And what happened was a young man who was drunk or high or both was trying to shoot at a stop sign outside my house. This is in the middle of a residential district now, and his aim was way off. And you know what it could have been. That's serious it could have been.
Terrifying.
Well, of course, you know, there's no way that's going to be solved, right? Well, Butch was a school resource officer, and he didn't brag about this, but he let me know because they made an arrest in this case. And, you know, the young man went to court and all like that. And anyway, Butch was able to determine by talking to kids about, you know, hey, do you hear about what happened up at Pete Wilson's house or whatever? Yeah. He was able to get intel, as they might say, and it led to this young man. He never admitted to it until he was confronted with it.
Sure.
And Butch's connections with kids, his ability to talk to kids, not just scare kids, but be their friend and still be able to do his job, he was able to solve that case. So firsthand, I can tell you how you know, what a great police officer he was. Of course, he was synonymous with the Trout Festival, as we all know. It was on TV here, about a month ago, talking about the Trout Festival. Yes, he was just here. Even after he retired, he did the Trout Festival. He did the Shop with a Cop. He was one of the red shirts at the Apple Festival. I mean, that is Butch Aldrich's death is a great, great loss for our community.
It is,
and we certainly send our condolences to his wife Sherry.
Yes,
and his daughter grew up here in Jackson. I think she lives in Texas now. Jennifer is her name. Just a very sad thing, but his death certainly tore at the heartstrings of a lot of people in this town and beyond.
Absolutely. Well, I think we all have Butch stories. We could sit here for hours and tell Butch stories.
Yeah, just a good guy to talk to.
Yeah.
He would try to do anything for you.
Yep.
Okay, Jennifer, we got all this money that has been coming from Washington. And some people kind of frown on that a little bit, thinking too much money coming from federal. That's Fed inflation and all like that. We've done too much or whatever. I don't know, maybe. But a lot of that money is being used to do good things and will do good things on the local level. It's called the American Rescue Act, and
that's right.
A lot of that money, so-called COVID money, continues to pour in.
Listen, if we don't take it, someone else is going to.
Exactly.
So it's out there. So
it's not like
we need to take it.
It is our money. It is tax money. Anyway. The commissioners announced more so-called ARPA task force funds being awarded, and they still have more to give. Do you believe that now the ARPA task force, and that is there's commissioner, it's mainly the county commissioners, but they have some other people on there as well. I think the county auditor, Tiffany Ridgway, is on there as well. But do you realize that they have already awarded, this is Jackson County now, this isn't Franklin County, $3.77 million.
Wow.
That's what has been approved so far, and I think there's more that has not been approved yet. But here are some of the awards that were made just this last week. $300,000 to the Partnership Plaza. That's the former Kroger building in Wellston, where they're trying to get some economic development going. Sam Brady, who is always in on all the ARPA stuff and the economic development stuff, he indicated that an official announcement regarding this property will be coming soon. So $300,000 for the Partnership Plaza. Here in the city of Jackson, $800,000 will go to the city of Jackson for a Mill Street water sewer expansion project. Believe it or not, there are a few homes here in Jackson within the city boundaries that do not have sanitary sewer service. It's not very many, but some of these are right here in this Mill Street neighborhood, and that will take care of that void. $800,000, and I know that makes Randy Evans smile. He's a construction type guy, and he's got a well-organized administration there. He's lined up some projects. All he needs is some extra money, and ARPA is providing some of that. We're going to tell you about another grant that he received that's going to pay for another big infrastructure project next week. But this one is what we're talking about today. That is through the county commissioners. $110,000 to the Jackson County Water Company for a water service expansion project on Sickles Road. These folks on Sickles Road use spring water, which sometimes that's good. Sometimes you always got to worry about testing and all like that.
You have to worry about what someone else has put in your water.
What's down there in that groundwater with the water. So these people will be able to get some public water through the Jackson County Water Company through the extension of lines. $32,179 to the Warriors for Christ for the purchase of equipment and the installation of a new roof at the Men's Recovery Campus. Now, this is what Justin Oyer is doing out there on the Chillicothe Pike. This was been more than a year ago since he opened that. He was able to get the real estate, get the thing open, but it costs money to do things and bring the facility up to what it should be. So that will help this. And then, we've already talked about the money that was given to the YMCA, $25,000 to help with the installation of the gymnasium
that new floor
there.
Yeah.
Right. So even this public money coming from Washington is being used in the private sector for things that the commissioners and this ARPA task force, this local ARPA task force feels serves the public good. So, they're branching out even beyond government services there, which I think is good if it helps people. And that is not all of them, but that is the highlights. And we hope to have that story in our Saturday paper.
Love that.
Do you know what I haven't talked about for almost a month, but I'm going to utter the word?
Oh, no. Pete.
What is it? What is it?
The C word.
It's the C word. COVID-19.
The C word.
I was surprised when a Jackson County Health Department infographic popped up into my Facebook, and I saw, get this, 53 active cases, 83 new cases.
Yeah.
The cases had declined to the point where they weren't even doing the infographic for a couple weeks.
It's making its appearance again. Just when we think we've beat her, she just has to show up again, doesn't she?
Right, exactly. Well, okay, time perspective. The last infographic was on May the 9th. They had 23 new cases then and 21 active cases. And I believe, I could not find it, but I believe there might have been even fewer cases than that in late April. Mm-hmm. So still from 23 new cases to 83 cases in a period of just 3 weeks there. We hope that's not a harbinger of more bad news and pandemics and epidemics and whatever.
No
now,
doubt.
the good news is there have been no deaths and no hospitalizations related to all this.
This thing's just going I think we're just on a roller coaster ride with this thing for quite some time.
Yeah, there always seems to be a new variant. If you listen to the national news, you hear, there's new cases in New York City. They're thinking about going back to the masks and all like that. So it seems like you never can totally lick it.
No. And, as long as I don't get the monkeypox, I'm okay.
Okay. Well, they're worried about that now, too. But
seems to be pretty safe.
As far as we know, far away from Jackson County right now. The Vinton County Health Department, now, they've been doing weekly infographics, but for several weeks, they were reporting 1 active cases. This was as recently as April 18th, April 25, as recently as May 2, 3 active cases. Well, they went up to 11 cases on Monday, May the 16th. They're back down to 9 on May the 23rd, which was last Monday.
Okay.
So not nearly as many as Jackson County, but more than they had there in the last month. But once again, no deaths, no related hospitalizations.
Well, that's the good news out of the bad, right?
Right, exactly. All right. Well, we also want to welcome some new public officials at Wellston, the Wellston city government. Of course, they were appointed by the Wellston City Caucus of the Jackson County Republican Central Committee because of vacancies that had occurred. But at the last council meeting, which is also attended and ably reported on by our associate editor, Phil Buffington, two new officials made their first appearance in new positions. Rick Hudson, who is the brother of Charlie Hudson, the mayor, went from 3rd Ward councilman to city council president.
Okay.
He took the spot, and that is the 2 Hudson boys right there.
Well, there they are.
That is Charlie on the left
and
Rick on the right. Rick, as I said, had been a councilman before, and he applied to the party for an interview and a chance to be appointed council president, and he went out over Keith Woolham for that, and he is the new council president. So they'll have to get a new 3rd Ward councilman as well, and I think that is in the works. But the other person who was recently picked is Alicia Beatty. She is the new city treasurer in Wellston.
Okay.
I'm sorry, city auditor in Wellston, and she takes the place of David McWilliams, who resigned as auditor so he could run for council president, only he was bypassed for council president.
It's like musical people up there.
Right, exactly. So anyway, that's the latest from the city of Wellston. I do believe they still need a 3rd Ward councilman. Now, they have an idea on how to fill that, but they have to see the process that they have to go through. I think another councilman who is on there now wants to swing over from one council position to another. They're trying to figure out whether he needs to be appointed or he can just do that.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Everybody always wants to know about the football coaching stuff. We don't have a lot of information about these gentlemen. We're going to drop a couple names. It wasn't too long ago that Carl Justice, that is Justus is how you spell that, Justice. He was named as the new head football coach at Wellston High School.
Okay.
Todd Compson is our sports editor, is lining up an interview with him, but we do know he has extensive experience both as a head coach and as assistant coach. He had been the assistant coach at Bethel Tate High School, which is over near Cincinnati in Claremont County. Most recently, I believe he was on the staff last year or this year, football season over, of course. And before, he does have association or experience in this area. He had been the head coach at one time, don't know the year or years, at Federal Hocking High School, which is in the same conference as Wellston and Vinton County. So he will be aboard as the new coach. Of course, he takes the place of Nolan Yates, who was hired as the football coach earlier, and that did not work out because couldn't align a teaching position there that was going to work out for Nolan, and he decided to step aside. So they had to, push real quickly to get a new football coach in place, which they do now. At Oak Hill High School, they had their newly hired football coach resign lately, and I understand, trying to confirm this, that it has to do with a dispute over whether he should be hired because he was not a union employee. A union employee had sought the football coaching position back when he was hired.
I see.
And the union down at the Oak Hill, representing the teachers, complained, filed a grievance or whatever they do, formal or informal, to contest that. The football coach who had been hired resigned, and so that left an opening there. And of course, Paul Carver had been the head football coach last year, and he resigned right at the end of the season. Mm-hmm. So musical chairs at Oak Hill too. But at the last meeting, which was last Wednesday, they hired a young man by the name of Tyler Kratzenberg to be the new head football coach. We're scampering for information on him, but we do know that he has connections with Ironton High School. We believe he was a good player at Ironton High School. Not sure where he's coming from as a coach, but we know that he's a young one.
Okay.
But we will find out about Mr. Kratzenberg and Mr. Justice. I know our crack sports staff will be working on that. All right, we're going to go to the other end of the age spectrum, and say congratulations to Rosa McClaskey, one of the oldest residents in the county, no doubt 102 years young. And on Monday, May the 23rd, Phil Buffington went up to Four Winds Community, where Rosa is a resident, and they surprised her. Family and staff, and also Jackson Mayor Randy Evans was there doing a proclamation. There's Randy doing a proclamation for Rosa McClaskey Day.
Sweet.
102 years old. What a wit that Rosa has. Phil did a story on her, which we'll have in the paper with those pictures that you're seeing now. And, Phil asked the question you would normally ask, well, Rosa, you're 102 years old, how do you feel? And she didn't miss a beat. She says, with my fingers.
Love it.
Right, exactly. So anyway.
How do you live to be 102? You have a good sense of humor, right?
Yeah, congratulations to Rosa. It is so different when you do those interviews with the people who've reached 90 or 100 or 105 or whatever, because some of them have been very health conscious, but some of them have not.
Yes.
And it didn't seem to make a difference.
Yep.
So anyway, all right, now we're into all this stuff that's happening this weekend.
Oh, man.
And we got two graduations, one at Wellston, one at Jackson. But first, I want to go back to last Friday when we had the graduations at Oak Hill High School and also at Vinton County High School. Uh-huh. I do this because we have big stories going in with lots of pictures about these graduation ceremonies. It's a big deal in a small town, and that's the way we're treating it. We thank our advertising staff for going out and getting this sponsored. We thank the sponsors, of course, for stepping up and help us to pay for this space. But that is the ceremonial hat toss that takes place at the end of the ceremony at Oak Hill High School last Friday. Jeremiah Shaver was there, and his in-depth report on graduation with lots of pictures in color will be in Saturday's paper. We do want to congratulate the honor students there. I think they deserve to have their name mentioned again on TV. The valedictorians of the Oak Hill High School class of 2022, Aiden Atkins, Emma Bartram, Chloe Chambers, Brenna Davis, Faith Evans, Brooke Howard, Quentin Lewis, Levi Lyons, and Macy Blackburn. The salutatorians are Abby Lewis and Garrett McNerlin. And of course, the graduation program, a lot of the meat of it was the speeches to these students. They were very brief because, there were so many of them. But that is covered in the story that Jeremiah has written.
That's great.
All right, same time up at Vinton County High School, Principal J.J. Milliken, Superintendent Rick Brooks, they were turning the Vinton County High School seniors into graduates. And this is a picture that shows the honor students of Vinton County High School. Red got them posed before the ceremony. From left to right, if you're looking there at that picture, that's Superintendent Rick Brooks. Done a great job at Vinton County. I'll give you that editorial comment. And then from left to right there, the honor students are, okay, let's get them in order. I believe we have, I don't have their names. That is Cameron Zinn, second from the left. And there's Cassandra Mayers on the far right next to Principal J.J. Milliken. And the other two are Kerrigan Ward and Brenna Stevens.
Okay.
I don't know Brenna or Kerrigan, so I'm not going to guess which is which, but they are all there. And that picture will be
awesome.
in our paper on Saturday, along with others, because Red Thompson Jr. did the same thing that Jeremiah Shaver did. Wrote a big story, took a lot of pictures, and we will have a 2-page spread on the Vinton County graduates in color. And by the way, this coverage includes a roll call of all the students that graduated. So if you made it 12 years through high school, 13 counting kindergarten, 14 counting preschool, by golly, you deserve to have your name in the paper, and it will be there. Hint, hint, scrapbookers.
That's right. Do you remember, and I'll ask this to James too, do you remember like what it felt that day that you graduated high school? Like I swear I remember it like it was just yesterday.
Right.
I just remember.
Oh, I remember mine too.
Everything about that day.
I think that's one of the, they talk about where were you when Kennedy was assassinated, where were you in 2001. You never forget your high school graduation.
And that like feeling.
Maybe you'll joke later that it's forgettable, but you will never really forget it.
I just think about that.
Because it's such a watershed thing. The thing I remember about it, I was kind of a mama's boy. I wasn't too wild or anything like that. I still aren't really. And the boys wanted me to go out to a party afterwards. You know what that usually means in high school? Even back in 1973. I said, Mom, I'm going to a party with the boys. And she says, no, you're not. And I didn't. Because she smelled trouble.
Probably she's very smart.
That changed when I went to college. I kind of got a little bit of assertive on my own part. And what that means is I didn't say what I was doing. That's what that means. You didn't
tell Mom what you were doing.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I can remember being in college and Mom calling and saying, "What are you doing?" It'd be like 11 o'clock. I'd be like,
studying.
"Oh, no." I'd be like, "Oh, just getting ready to go out." And she'd be like, "It's 11 o'clock." I'm like, "I know." If you did that today, you would die. James, do you remember your graduation day?
I remember principal telling one girl that she wouldn't be allowed to walk if she didn't take her nose ring out. And I remember the speaker only talked for like 2 minutes. That's all I remember.
Hey, funniest story about our graduation day, and I know we have stuff to talk about, but and I think I've told this before, our speaker at the end of his speech released these doves.
Mm-hmm.
Can you guess what happened?
I'm guessing a hawk or something got a hold of one of them.
No, they flew up. They didn't release. They didn't go anywhere. They went to like a wire.
Perched on top of the stage or whatever.
It was outside. They went. This is at the middle school now on the football field. They just went to like the next wire and then they proceeded to poop on everybody's heads. It was fantastic.
Well,
they didn't go,
My most fearful moment, I'll have to give up on myself here, give something else up. Senior assembly in the morning before you graduate.
Yes.
Okay, and of course, you're into all sorts of hijinks there, trying to have fun, and they usually let you get away with it. Well, I got up on my hard shoes on the grand piano that was on the stage there in what is now the Jackson Middle School auditorium, and sang Oklahoma. Not because
here he is with the Oklahoma again.
I sang Oklahoma, not necessarily real good, but it was loud. However, the principal at the time, Bob Evans, the late Bob Evans, was worried about me scuffing the piano, and he said, "Young man, if that piano is scuffed up, you're either going to pay for it or you're not going to graduate."
Oh,
and I mean, a bolt of fear went through me because he was serious. He was serious, and then
that's awesome.
Right. Well,
Well, did you pay for the piano or did you not scratch it?
It was an older piano and already had marks on it, and they could not prove that any of the shoe marks that were on there were mine.
Heard.
How's that?
That's my man, Pete.
But anyway, that's about as wild as we get there. But anyway, speaking of graduations, we have 2 more tonight,
yes,
of course.
So exciting.
The Wellston High School seniors will graduate at 6:30 p.m. That is in the Wellston High School gymnasium. And the honor students there who will, have their time in the spotlight are Reese Brunton, Sullivan Potter, Grayson Hawkins, Lauren Hendershot, Hadley Fain, Christopher Jones, and Cameron Carr. And their speeches will be part of the graduation program. Phil Buffington will be there to cover that. And that coverage will be in next Saturday's paper, a week from tomorrow. Same deal. We're doing it for all 4 high schools. Today at Jackson High School, of course, this is the last day for the seniors. I will be at the Jackson High School graduation tonight. It is 8 p.m. And part of the drama of Jackson High School graduation is always looking at the weather.
I know. Is it inside
looking at the
or
weather
outside?
because it is an
Where are we
outdoor
gonna go?
ceremony.
Yeah.
Come hell or high water, it's an outdoor ceremony.
So they're not even making an inside plan.
If there's a tornado warning, they may go inside. It's 8 p.m.
Last year was rough.
It was rough. I was a drenched rat that night because my umbrella did not work right on top of everything else. Camera in one hand, umbrella in the other, notepad, trying to do all that. But anyway, it's always magic moments there when you see all that happen.
It is.
What it means for all those kids. But the seniors that will be having the honor of being the valedictorians and speaking tonight are Leah Alford, Haley Bachtel, Jillian Evans, Kirsten Evans, Christopher Hughes, Olivia Kennedy, Sarah Lefevre, Grant Maston, Emma Rasp, Caitlin Webb, and Cultra Holtz.
Yep.
So congratulations to all of them. They had the senior breakfast this morning, Jennifer. If you're a Jackson High School alumna or alumnus, you know all about that.
Yep,
It goes
the
all the way
Sarita
back to
Call.
1954.
Yep.
4 generations of the Call family
Yes.
there today. That was cool. Of course, Sarita died in 1967, the namesake of it. She founded that event because she thought that the seniors ought to have something. And her oldest son, Dan Call, who still survives, graduated in 1954. That was the first senior breakfast. And she had, I think, 8 kids.
So cool.
But even the years when she didn't have a child graduating, she still organized that. They eventually named it after her.
Yes.
And her daughters and family have continued the tradition. And there were 4 generations there today. Mary Call being her daughter,
Yes.
Sarita's daughter, and Mary's daughter, Mary's granddaughter, and then one of the great-granddaughters of Sarita Call was there
Yep.
too. I'm not sure she's got a direct connection with Mary, but all family there.
Yep.
So we got that picture there.
That's really neat.
Senior breakfast, very nice event and kind of Jackson.
Yeah.
Okay, so we will have that report again in next Saturday's paper with lots of pictures, senior breakfast and the graduation. And the last thing I looked on my phone, I probably should have looked before we went on the air. It had the rain ending between 7 and 8 p.m. That is critical because
Keep our fingers
they
crossed.
don't have the graduation ceremony for some reason until 8 o'clock. It's a late one. So we'll just hope.
Yep.
We'll just hope that the weather is all right. And once again, the Plan B, and they don't want to do Plan B because they don't want everybody to be able to go. Jackson High School has enough students and whatever that some people just couldn't get in on an indoor ceremony.
Yep.
They would go to the gymnasium, holds a lot of people, but not enough when you got all those relatives who want to come, relatives and friends. All right. Also this weekend, this is usually pool weekend, right? The pool's open, and indeed, Hillcrest Pool is opening here in the city of Jackson. That's a city-owned and operated pool.
I want to jump up there and do a cannonball.
Right, and Kaylee Lower, the former Kaylee Folks, has been manager, I think, 15 or 16 years. She's willing to do it again. Mayor Randy
Bless her
Evans
heart,
is delighted. But there's going to be some exciting things going on up at the pool this year. In addition to the pool, and they do a low admission rate. It's only $2 to get in for a student or a child, $4 for an adult, so it's affordable.
Yes.
They wanted a municipal pool to be that way. And I think that the improved budgetary situation in the city because of the income tax, even if they don't use direct income tax money for it, it's made the pool get in that situation where, every year, can we do the pool again? I think they're past that now. Mm-hmm. And in addition to the opening of the pool this year, and they've got it all ready to go. I was out there Thursday.
Woohoo!
They are also going to have 2 new shelter houses built at the pool this year.
Oh, you're kidding.
One of them is under construction now. There it is. They're pouring all the concrete there. That is to the right of the pool. That's a new
awesome.
location. If you know where the skate park is, just to the left of the pool,
yes,
they're going to build another shelter house there. There had been one kind of in the front as you enter the parking lot, been there for years. It was not in very good condition. They tore that down. It will not be replaced, but they'll have 2 shelter houses by the end of the summer.
Great.
And they also got a grant to make improvements to the skate park, and that will happen this summer sometime too. And the pool opens on Saturday here in Jackson, Hillcrest Pool on Huron Street. The hours are 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Most days. It's 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. on Tuesday. There's a $1 swim night from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. If you want to go in the evening, it only costs anyone $1 then. They do an adult lap swim, if the adults don't want to splash around with the kids. That's every day, Monday through Saturday, 10 to 11 a.m., $1 admission only. And you know what the experts say? Great swimming is a great exercise.
And it's a great pool to swim laps in. You have that deep end that you have plenty of room to swim.
Exactly. And word to the warning, the pool parties are very popular, and a lot of the dates are already filling up, even though the season doesn't start till Saturday.
Right.
And how do you do a pool party? You simply make it the preferred method is to make a connection on Facebook with a message. There is a Facebook site for the Hillcrest Pool, not the City of Jackson, for the Hillcrest Pool.
Okay.
Obviously, if you call the city offices, the administration, they'll point you in the right direction.
How come the Hillcrest Pool is called the Hillcrest Pool?
I never known that.
I never thought about it until just now.
Well, if you notice, you're going up just a little bit elevation-wise on Urine Street from the west, and I think you are from the east. So it might not be the doggone highest hill in the world, but I guess it's a hill.
I guess.
More like a plateau, maybe.
I wonder who named it.
But it's up there a little bit, because you remember the steep hillside down to the creek there?
Yeah.
So it is on a hill.
You're right.
Right. Unfortunately, the Margaret Ann Pool in Oak Hill will not be able to open this weekend, but don't worry, it probably will open the next weekend.
Okay, good.
Paul McNeil, the mayor of Oak Hill, talked about it at the last council meeting. Red Thompson Jr. was there to cover it. There's just some work that they need done. Nothing major or whatever, but just couldn't quite get it ready.
Sure.
And I know that pool manager Joy Hale will be back for a second year to manage the pool, and so that will open next week. They are hoping to install lights there, so they can have. They've had pool parties in the past, but having lights will allow the pool party hours to be extended some, of course, because that's prime time in the evening for pool parties. And they are pushing pool parties this year in Oak Hill because, first of all, it's a great social thing to have a pool party, whether it's through your birthday or a club or whatever. But another reason is it really helps with pool operation revenue. It's extra revenue coming in because they do want to keep the general admission as low as possible.
Yeah, so because it's a community pool.
So everybody can enjoy the pool. So no set date. It will be announced, but it is expected to open the Margaret Ann Pool in Oak Hill. That's village owned and operated, Friday, June 3 and Saturday, June 4. And whenever the Oak Hill officials talk about it, they never miss a chance to thank the public for passing a Parks and Recreation levy.
Yeah.
You don't have many towns that are willing to open up their wallet to pay for the operation of a pool.
Especially a pool.
That's what I think most of that money goes for. It's a small levy, but it would be easy to say no to that. But the good folks in Oak Hill have also supported that levy. And that pool goes back to 1960, I think, or 59, the Davis family. Yep. One of their great gifts to the village of Oak Hill. All right, it is Memorial Day weekend, so we want to tell you about some of the things going on, Jennifer. Most of our towns will have some Memorial Day activities, parades, programs, etc. We'll run down some of the specifics real quick. We do have all this information cataloged in our print edition of the paper Saturday. It will be online soon as well.
Okay.
So you want to check that for some of the particulars. Some of the stuff doesn't get posted. So the paper is a good place to go get it all in one
place.
swath.
Yes.
And our good friend Chris Henry, who does a great job in our sales department. He's a member of the American Legion in Wellston, and he went out and sold a couple banners so we could kind of have a specialty page on Memorial Day.
Okay.
I mean, we always cover it anyway, but this put it all together on the front end, and also we're going to be covering it on the back end in the papers next week as well. But running down the list real quickly, in the city of Wellston, the American Legion Post 371 does a Memorial Day there. And it all starts with a parade at 10 a.m. That ends up at Ridgewood Cemetery, where there will be a program around roughly around 10:30 or 11. I think that's time approximate there. There will be a speaker there. It will be American Legion 371 member Bruce Conley, who has been an active member of the Legion for some time. Then later on, at the Legion Post there on South Pennsylvania Avenue, they'll have a very popular community event, their bean dinner.
Ooh,
right.
All right.
And that's at noon, and as long as the beans last, you can get some great homemade soup beans there at the Legion. This is not a Legion activity, but kind of dovetails with it. That is the flags display in Wellston.
Man, gorgeous.
That the Rotary Club do. It's called the Field of Heroes, and it's basically on the lot of the old high school. Everybody knows where that is, especially in Wellston.
Drive into Wellston, you can't miss it.
Very impressive.
Yes.
They're going to be out today. There is an opening ceremony at noon today, and our own Jeremiah Shaver will be there, dusting off his video phone and all. And with his camera for the paper too, because it's a very visual thing, a nice thing.
Yes.
The Rotary Club does it as a fundraiser, but more so, I think they do it as a community event, just to show the patriotism. Cool. All the flags. You have all the flags down at Oak Hill because of festival flags.
Yes.
On the north end, now you have the Field of Heroes, and they will be on display throughout the weekend, and they will have a closing ceremony on Monday. I believe that is also at noon. But they'll be there all weekend. All right, in the city of Jackson at Veterans Memorial Park, what a beautiful place, Jennifer, because it's right next to your business there.
Yeah.
They will have the Memorial Day program there. The Jackson County Veterans Service Office kind of organizes that, and other veterans groups takes part in that. But that is 11 a.m. make sure I'm right on that. Yeah, 11 a.m. on Monday at the Veterans Memorial Park. All these, of course, are on Monday, Memorial Day, that I'm talking about. And the guest speaker will be Bruce Foster, who is retired from the United States Air Force after 24 years of service. The Jackson High School Band will be there to do their patriotic music. Always a nice event. And I know that the people who put this on believe in it, and they are heartened if, people come out to see it. And they often do, especially if the weather is good. So once again, that's Monday at 11 o'clock in Jackson at Jackson Veterans Memorial Park. In Oak Hill, American Legion Post, Kent Metzler Post 261 will be doing a number of activities. There's a parade at 10 o'clock, starts from the downtown. It goes out to CM Cemetery on the east end of town. They'll do a brief program there. Kent Metzler Post will do the 21-gun salute, firing squad. They go around to all the Oak Hill area cemeteries on Memorial Day doing this salute in all the cemeteries. It starts at 9:20 a.m. at the Monroe Cemetery, and it ends at 1:50 p.m. at the Hickory Grove Cemetery. All these cemeteries are in the Oak Hill area there. And that is something they do to honor the veterans who are buried there.
Love that.
So that, once again, is on Monday. In the village of Hamden, the Hamden Fire Department, which is a great community organization in Hamden, they do the Memorial Day program there. It will start at 11 a.m. with a parade from 93 and Wilcox Street. That's, I think, where the fire department is. It will go towards Wellston there on 93 and go into Hamden Cemetery, where there will be a program at approximately well, I guess it's whenever the parade is over, but it'll be immediately after the parade, because the parade lineup is at 11. The parade itself is at 11:30, and then the program, usually they have one of the judges speak there. That will be right after there in Hamden Cemetery. The Vinton County Memorial Day service in MacArthur is a little bit before that. The Vinton County Band, by the way, will be at both of those. The ones in MacArthur and the one...
They're busy.
Yeah, they are. They got to hightail it down 93. But they will gather at about 9:30 a.m. in front of the courthouse there in downtown MacArthur. They'll have some preliminary things, and then they will march out to Elk Cemetery. Some of them may drive, I don't know. Elk Cemetery is on the north end of town, and that's where there will be a program there in the cemetery. And one of the neat things they do, sometimes Vinton County Probate Juvenile Judge Bob Grillo, Jackson County native, not a native because he's really from Akron, but he graduated from Jackson High School. Everybody knows him in Jackson and Vinton counties. He reads the casualty list, which I think is a neat thing. They have cataloged every person in Vinton County supposedly who has died in wartime.
Oh, wow.
From the very beginning to current, and they read those names. It can be very emotional.
I'd say.
And he will do this at this Memorial Day ceremony at Elk Cemetery. And once again, that program there should begin at 9:30 at the courthouse, and then at 10 a.m. After the procession reaches Elk Cemetery, there will be the meat of the program will take place there. And of course, the Field of Heroes in Wellston. We have one big alumni event. They canceled the Jackson alumni event because of COVID-related fears, but the Wellston High School Alumni Association will go forward. That will be Saturday evening out at the high school. Gretchen Crabtree, class of 72, Wellston High School, 50th year anniversary for her. She will be the Toastmaster. And of course, our good friend John Pelletier, that's just another one of the many things he does.
Another hat he puts on.
Another hat he puts on. So, when he retires, he really doesn't retire.
No, not at all.
I know he'll be in the middle of all that. I think they still have plenty of tickets left, but that is on Saturday night at Wellston High School. And you got all kinds of family reunions going on as well. Last but not least, certainly the Festival of Flags. That is a big hometown festival at Oak Hill, and it sounds like, as you know, from talking to people this week,
my goodness,
they've got things lined up.
I mean, starts at noon today all the way through Monday, and it is just. I mean, anytime you show up at the Festival of Flags, there's going to be a lot going on.
So much. You got Dwight Eisenhower on Friday night, Morgan
Saturday night.
On Saturday night at 7:30 p.m. And then you've got Morgan White, a country singer, at 7:30 p.m. on Sunday night. And you've got the opening ceremonies today. That's at 5:30 p.m. And at those opening ceremonies, this year's Festival Grand Marshal, Martha Detty.
Yes.
Martha Detty Foster.
There she
is. And what a grand lady she is.
Yep.
She is in her 90s now, and such a gracious lady, always has been. Still lives by herself in Oak Hill.
That's awesome.
Her family helps her, I know that, and they're going to be with her, I know, when they ring the bell. They ring the bell as part of the opening ceremonies, and it's every year there's been a festival. It's been 29 years now for the Oak Hill Festival of Flags. And Martha, always active in civic affairs, not only in Oak Hill, but in the county as well. Very active lady, one of the grandest dames in the county, you can say. Wonderful person. And so glad to see her get this recognition. But once again, the Festival of Flags goes all the way through Memorial Day, ends up with the car show there at the high school. Most of the things will take place at Etna Park. This is low-cost entertainment and food. You got local groups there that raise money with their food booths and so forth. So, I mean, you want to go out and support it. Where can you go to a Dwight Eisenhower concert for free? For free.
Nowhere other than
there's people
the
that line up
Festival
for
of Flags.
$25 to $35 at the Marquee every year.
That's right.
And it's a sellout. So,
which is great, but this is free.
Right, exactly. So
you can see them twice in like 2 months.
Right. And the Grand Parade, that's another big event. We want to mention that. That's at 4:00 on Sunday. And of course, Martha Detty Foster will be near the head of the land there. And so it's a great hometown festival. I remember when it all started 29 years ago.
A few years ago.
I want to give a toast to a lady who's no longer with us. She just died in the last month or two, and that is Peg Thomas. Peg Thomas, along with Dan Brisker. And Dan Brisker still lives in Oak Hill, and he's got Fantastic Sam's, has some other business interests. He's the one that had the idea to start the Festival of Flags. And Peg Thomas was one of the first persons on board, and a great right-hand woman to Dan to do a lot of the work. And she stayed with it for many, many years until, her age and health would not allow. Her and her dear husband, Jack, who died before her, they moved from town some years ago, but I just could not let her recent death go without giving a toast to her because she was one of the bulwarks of the Oak Hill Festival of Flags and was a great member of the village in many other ways. One other thing I got to say, I know we're out of time, but the annual Cooper Strong 5K will be held in Jackson. This has become a big Memorial Day weekend event in Jackson. 8 a.m. tomorrow is where it'll start. Outside there, just outside the middle school, there on Vaughn Street. They'll be set up in the parking lot with registration like that. And this is done in memory of the late Emily Jo Cooper. What a tragedy in Jackson back in 2016 with this outstanding young lady. Valedictorian at Jackson High School, 3-star athlete, went to Marshall University, became captain of the softball team, killed in a highway accident after her graduation and just after she had been hired to be the softball coach at Jackson. It is so sad. But the good part of that, the family has stepped up. Kalina Cooper Snyder, her aunt, came up with the idea for this Cooper Strong 5K. They had it, I think, the very first year after she died, just 2 or 3 months after she died. They've raised thousands and thousands of dollars through a scholarship and to support the sports at Jackson High School, especially the softball program there. And here's the big news. They have gone over the top, I understand, for a new hitting facility for the softball team.
That's right.
And this year's event will help push it over the top. But you can make a donation, but you can also walk or run for the registration, and that's where all the money goes. Nobody makes any money off it. It all comes back to Jackson High School.
It's just all to help the kids.
Right. And so they end up at the softball field, obviously. That's where the 5K ends. So if you're running, you have to run up that hill.
High school
you
hill.
may not make it up that last hill there if you're running.
It's rough.
Got to save some time. But so as you see, Jennifer, if anybody says on board, I have nothing to do, they're
there's
nuts.
Nothing going on this weekend.
They're just nuts. They haven't given this stuff a try.
That's right.
So anyway, all this weekend, and we will be there.
Very good. And
I'm speaking of total media. I know the radio station is so busy this weekend. So
yep,
they're going to be at the Festival of Flags and the Feast of Flowering Moon over in Chillicothe
as well. So you can check that out.
Right.
All right. Well, thank you, Pete. And thank you for spending your morning with us. And we hope that you all have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. Be safe out there. Have some fun, and also remember what Memorial Day is all about.
Right. Please do that, because when you think about what the men and women who died sacrificed. I mean, they sacrificed the most important possession they have, their own life, in service of their country. I know we keep saying that, but think about it.
It's the truth.
It's the
truth. So, all right. Well, have a wonderful weekend, everyone. Congratulations to all the graduates, and just want to wish them the best for their futures. We have so many great kids around here. So
right. And the best thing I can say about the graduates, just don't say it, do it.
That's right.
Just
don't go for it.
Don't just talk, walk the walk.
Go for it. All right. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you back here on Tuesday. Thanks for watching.